Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something called multi-level research in management. It sounds maybe a bit academic, but it's really about embracing the complexity of how organizations actually work, seeing the different layers.
Exactly. It's about seeing individuals, sure, but also teams, departments, the whole thing, how they all connect. And it's really grown. It used to be pretty rare, this kind of study.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but by, say, the mid-2000s, maybe around 2007, something like a quarter of published management research was taking this multi-level view. So clearly there was this real drive for theories that were more complete,
That
in
captured.
the context.
Right, moving beyond maybe simpler explanations for how things work. So that's our plan today. Unpack what makes this approach so powerful, but also, importantly, where people can get tripped up. We're looking at insights from top stuff in the Academy of Management Journal. Okay, so first off, why is this multi-level thinking so important? Why should a manager, for instance, care about these different layers?
Well, it's critical because management problems rarely exist at just one level, right? Unlike some other fields where you might focus just on individual psychology or just on, say, market dynamics, management has to juggle everything. This approach lets us generate insights that are, frankly, unique to management. It helps you understand how a decision about one person might affect their team, or how a team's way of working impacts the whole department, seeing those ripple effects.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you say multi-level, what does that actually involve? Like, what are the key bits?
Good question. We can kind of break it down into three main things. First is the theorizing. This is all about your explanation. How do you think things at one level could be lower, like individual motivation, or higher, like organizational culture, affects something you care about at a specific level, maybe team performance?
So it's the why across different scales.
Precisely. Then second, there's measurement. How do you actually capture these ideas with data? Especially when you're talking about a group level thing like team climate.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just average individual feelings sometimes. You need to think about emergent properties,
Mm-hmm.
things that only exist because of the interaction within the group.
Ah, okay. So it's more than just adding up the parts.
Exactly. And the third part is modeling, the statistics. Because your data is nest individuals inside teams, teams inside organizations, you can't just run standard analyses. They have assumptions that get violated. So you need specialized techniques like hierarchical linear modeling or HLM, fancy tools basically, to handle that nested structure properly.
Right. So you don't confuse what's happening at the individual level with the group level. This is where it gets practical, I think. This approach is powerful, yeah, but it sounds like there are ways it can go wrong. You mentioned pitfalls.
Definitely. And understanding these pitfalls is actually a huge opportunity to do better research, to get sharper insights. We generally see two big categories of problems. The first is failing to really surface your assumptions.
Okay, like what?
Well, pitfall one, choosing the wrong levels or not justifying them. Maybe you pick levels that are too close together or too far apart without a solid reason why those levels matter for your specific question. You really need to build a case based on theory for each level you include. Why is the individual important and the team important and maybe the department?
So don't just pick levels arbitrarily. Got it. What else?
Pitfall two,
Fuzzy.
fuzzy definitions. Not being clear if a concept, say engagement, operates within person. Like, does my engagement change day to day? Or is it between person? Am I generally more engaged than you? Especially with things like experience sampling, you have to be super clear. The opportunity is just that. Define and justify the level for every single construct.
Makes sense. You need to know what you're actually measuring.
And a third one here, assuming homology. This is a big one. It's basically taking a theory that works at one level, say for individuals, and just assuming it works exactly the same way for teams or organizations. But the logic might be totally different. What motivates one person isn't necessarily what makes a whole team click. You have to explicitly check and reconcile the assumptions at each level.
That seems crucial, like you said, assuming what works for a single part works for the whole machine. Okay, what's the second big category of pitfalls?
The second group is all about misalignment between the pieces. Theory, measurement, analysis, they need to fit together. So pitfall 4. Theory doesn't match measurement. You might talk a big game about multi-level dynamics in your theory section, but then only collect data from individuals. Or you aggregate individual data up to the team level using a method that doesn't actually match how you theorize the team-level concept works.
Ah, so the way you measure has to truly reflect the multi-level idea you started with?
Exactly. The opportunity is to ensure that link is solid. How you combine lower-level data must align with your theoretical reasoning. And finally, pitfall 5. Theory doesn't match the analysis. You have this great multi-level theory, you've maybe even measured things well, but then you use a simple, single-level statistical analysis.
So you miss the chance to actually test those cross-level effects you talked about.
Precisely. You theorize the complexity, but you didn't actually analyze it. The opportunity is clear. Use analytical methods that let you explore those multi-level connections you proposed. Don't leave those insights on the table.
Okay, this has been a fantastic breakdown. So bringing it back to the listener, what's the main takeaway here? Why does mastering this matter?
I think the key thing is that these multi-level approaches, they offer this incredibly rich understanding of what happens in organizations. They let you see the connections. But, and this is the important part, they need to be used wisely. It's not about chasing a trend or using a fancy statistical tool just because you can. It's about applying this thinking carefully with good theoretical reasons to tackle really interesting problems where those different layers genuinely interact and matter.
So use the power responsibly, essentially. All right, here's something for you to think about. When you look at a complex situation, maybe at work, maybe in your community, or even just dynamics within your own family, what levels are actually at play? And what assumptions are you making about how things work at the individual level versus the group level or the system level? Could really thinking about those connections, those different layers, unlock a totally new perspective for you.